Alright, let's talk about something we all do. Procrastination. It's that voice in your head that says, I'll do it later. It's choosing to scroll through your phone instead of tackling that big project. It's the feeling of dread that hangs over you when you know you have something important to do, but you just can't bring yourself to start. This isn't about being lazy. It's a complex habit rooted deep in our psychology. We delay tasks not because we don't want to do them, but because of the uncomfortable feelings they bring up inside of us. It's a coping mechanism, a way our brain tries to protect us from stress, even if it creates more stress down the road. So why is this such a universal struggle? Why does almost everyone, from high-achieving CEOs to students, fall into this trap? It boils down to a simple, powerful human instinct. We are wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. When a task feels overwhelming, boring, or scary, your brain registers it as a threat. It then triggers an urge to do something else, anything else, that provides an immediate sense of relief or happiness. This is your brain doing its job to keep you safe from discomfort, but it's a short-term fix that often leads to long-term problems like missed deadlines, added anxiety, and a nagging sense of guilt. The cycle is vicious and easy to get stuck in. You have a task. You feel a negative emotion associated with it. Maybe it's anxiety, boredom, or self-doubt. To escape that feeling, you procrastinate. You watch a show, clean the kitchen, or call a friend. For a moment, you feel better. But then, the deadline gets closer, the pressure mounts, and the guilt sets in, making the original negative feeling even worse. This pattern reinforces itself, teaching your brain that procrastination is the go-to solution for dealing with difficult emotions, making it harder and harder to break free each time. The first step to breaking this cycle is to stop beating yourself up about it. Seriously, stop calling yourself lazy. Procrastination is not a character flaw, it's a habit. And the good news about habits is that they can be changed. You have the power to understand why you do it and to build new, more productive responses. It starts with recognizing that you are in a battle with your feelings, not the task itself. Once you accept this, you can stop fighting a losing battle against your own willpower and start using strategies that actually work with your brain, not against it. To win this game, you need to know your opponent. And in the case of procrastination, the opponent is often a trio of powerful psychological triggers: fear of failure, perfectionism, and a sheer lack of motivation. Fear of failure is a big one. You avoid starting a task because you're terrified that you won't do it well. What if you try your best and it's still not good enough? The potential for judgment from others, or even from yourself, can be so paralyzing that doing nothing feels safer than risking failure. It's a protective shield, but it's one that keeps you stuck in the exact same place. Then there's perfectionism, which is fear of failure's sneaky cousin. You tell yourself that the conditions have to be perfect before you can start. You need more information, more time, or a better mood. You set impossibly high standards for the outcome, and the thought of not meeting them is so daunting that you never begin. The irony is that perfectionists often end up with an incomplete or rushed project, the very opposite of the flawless result they envisioned. This isn't about having high standards. It's about using those standards as an excuse to stay in your comfort zone and avoid the messy reality of getting things done. Lack of motivation is another major roadblock. Sometimes, a task is just plain boring, or you can't see the immediate benefit of completing it. Your brain, hungry for dopamine hits, sees no reward in sight and pushes you toward more instantly gratifying activities. This is especially true for long-term goals, where the payoff is far in the future. Without a clear and compelling why to drive you forward, your internal engine sputters, and it becomes incredibly easy to get sidetracked by distractions that offer a quick and easy sense of accomplishment, even if it's just leveling up in a game. So how do you figure out which of these triggers is derailing you? Start a journal. I'm serious. Grab a notebook and a pen. Every time you catch yourself procrastinating, write it down. What was the task you were avoiding? What were you doing instead? Most importantly, what were you feeling and thinking right before you decided to delay? Write down those negative thoughts. I'm going to mess this up, this has to be perfect, or this is so boring, what's the point? Seeing these patterns on paper is the first step to challenging them. It's about making the invisible visible so you can finally take back control. Okay, you've identified your triggers. Now it's time to take action. Thinking about change isn't enough. You have to something. Let's start with one of the most powerful strategies: breaking things down. That massive, terrifying project on your to-do list? It's not one task. It's probably 20 smaller, more manageable tasks. Your brain freezes when it sees write a 50-page report, but it can easily handle open a new document and write a title. Break your big goal into ridiculously small steps. Your only job is to complete the very next tiny step. This simple shift short-circuits the feeling of overwhelm and makes it so much easier to get started. Next, you need to manage your time, not let it manage you. Two fantastic tools for this are the Pomodoro Technique and time blocking. The Pomodoro Technique is simple. Set a timer for 25 minutes and focus on one single task. When the timer goes off, you take a 5-minute break. After 4 of these Pomodoros, you take a longer break. This works because it gives you a clear start and end point, making the task feel less endless. Time blocking is just as effective. You look at your calendar and schedule specific blocks of time for your tasks, just like you would for a meeting. This tells your brain, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we are working on. Let's be honest, sometimes you still need a little push. That's where a reward system comes in. Your brain loves rewards, so use that to your advantage. Set up a deal with yourself. After I finish this chapter, I can watch 1 episode of my favorite show, or once I clean out the garage, I will order my favorite takeout. The key is to make the reward immediate and something you actually want. This creates a positive feedback loop. Your brain starts to associate completing the task with the pleasure of the reward, which slowly rewires your response from I have to do this to let's get this done so I can get my treat. Remember, the goal is just to start. You don't have to feel motivated to get started. You have to get started to feel motivated. Action creates momentum. The hardest part is always that initial push, that moment of activation. That's why these tools are so critical. They aren't about becoming a perfect, ultra-productive machine. They are about making it easier to take that first step. They lower the barrier to entry so that you can get moving, build some momentum, and let the feeling of accomplishment fuel you forward to the next task. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to beat procrastination. If your workspace is full of distractions, you're setting yourself up to fail. Your phone buzzing with notifications, the TV on in the background, a dozen open tabs on your browser. Each one is an open invitation for your brain to abandon the task at hand. You have to be ruthless about minimizing these distractions. Put your phone in another room or turn it on silent. Use a website blocker if you need to. Create a designated workspace that is clean, organized, and signals to your brain that when you're here, it's time to focus. It's about making the right choice, the easy choice. You don't have to do this alone. Find an accountability partner. This could be a friend, a coworker, or a family member. Share your goals with them and ask them to check in on your progress. Just knowing that someone is going to ask you, "Hey, did you finish that thing you said you were going to do?" can provide a powerful dose of external motivation. It adds a layer of social consequence that makes it harder to put things off. This isn't about being micromanaged. It's about creating a supportive structure that helps you stay on track when your own internal motivation is running low. One of the most important mindset shifts you can make is to embrace imperfection. Let go of the idea that your work has to be flawless from the start. Give yourself permission to do a bad first draft. The goal is progress, not perfection. You can always go back and edit, revise, and improve later. But you can't improve a blank page. By allowing yourself to be a beginner and to make mistakes, you remove the immense pressure that so often leads to paralysis. Done is better than perfect. Say that to yourself over and over again until it sinks in. Finally, remember to celebrate your small wins. Did you work for 25 minutes without getting distracted? Acknowledge it. Did you break down that big project into smaller steps? Pat yourself on the back. These small victories build confidence and create momentum, and be flexible. Some days will be more productive than others, and that's okay. If a strategy isn't working, try a different one. The journey of overcoming procrastination is a continuous process of learning, adjusting, and refining. Keep checking in with yourself, stay kind, and never stop taking that next small step forward. You've got this.